Hey guys! Oh my god, we are finally here. Listen, we have arrived. We have arrived at the pinnacle of my villain origin story. But before we get into that, I want to point out to you guys this lovely gift I got from my friend Katie, who interviewed Nicole with me on my channel. Look at this gorgeous gift. Let's just be happy for a moment. The Lena Luthor Foundation is like beautiful, like square thing. I don't know what it's called, but like a plaque thing. Like seriously though, like is that not the most cutest thing? I have a piece of Lena Luthor here with me today to support this rant video. This rant video is sponsored by Lena Luthor Foundation. I'm sorry. Let me do it again. Do it again. Look, listen, this is how it's going to be. This Supercorp rant video is sponsored by the Lena Luthor Foundation. When I tell you, you're in for a ride. Hello bitches, hi guys, welcome to a brand new video. Today's video is one that y'all have waited for a very long time. It is one that I have personally been waiting to do. Like, hence the title of the video. This is Supercorp, the biggest queerbait in television history rant video. Listen, girl, I have no words. Actually, I have a lot of words, and I have to just try and filter through them. But this rant video has been coming for a very long time. You know it, I know it, WB know it, the CW know it. Everybody knows it, okay? Listen, I have done at least 3 rant videos about this before. And I'm like, you know what, let me hold out hope. We were clowning right till the very end. I mean, when I tell you Supercorp not being canon is my villain origin story, it's not a lie. I'm full on serious. And I think that is also the same from a lot of you guys watching. It's our villain origin story. Where do I even begin with this rant video? Where do we begin? Because like, I've addressed things about the show, like, in my other videos, so, like, I'll probably bring that up as well, but, like, we've addressed a lot of things. This is just me gonna get my final frustrations out, because how the frack do y'all get away with queerbaiting me for 5 seasons? You know? And look, it was more evident in the last season, or in 5B, and then season 6, more than anything. Like, seasons 2 to 4, okay, we were, like, teasing, playing around, we know. But season 5, when y'all did that 100th episode, the writers chose violence. The writers chose violence. That is when, actually, no, I take it back. The season 5 premiere, wow, how could I forget when Kara came out to Lena, Supergirl, even though Lena already knew, but like Kara didn't know she knew, but Kara, revealed her identity to her. That whole speech, that whole episode was the beginning. It was the beginning. Well, it was really when they first met in season 2, but like, I feel like it was more evident from season 5 onwards, like they really like, that it was like, it was like a tease before, and we were like, we're having fun. But then it became, like, serious. Like, the writers took it up another level in season 5, and that's when I'm like, oh, shit. Could this be? So, it was, listen. But, man, obviously, welcome, guys, to the Supercorp rant video, the biggest queerbait in television history. I love that title. Unfortunately, I knew I would be doing a video like this after the series ended. I knew. In deep down in my soul, I knew that I'd be making this video. I knew the CW wouldn't have the guts to do it. I knew the writers, showrunners, whoever, wouldn't have the guts to pull it off. I know. And this is the thing. Before I get into the rant video, I just want to say that this video is in no way intentionally directed to anybody in the cast, because they all were doing their jobs. They did phenomenal. We love them. We support them. This is in no way directed at the cast. Let them live their life. They did what they had to do. They told their story, and that's it. Like, they have nothing to do with this. If anything, we should be thanking the cast. We should be thanking Melissa and Katie for giving us a Supercorp endgame, even though it wasn't a Supercorp endgame, you know? We'll get to that. But yeah, in no way, we're not sending any hate to any of the cast members. They have done phenomenal in the series. I love them. We love them. It's time for them to rest now. This is behind them. We leave them alone. We're directing this rant video at the writers, showrunners, executives, the big head corporations, whoever is in charge. I don't know who it is. If it's a CW, DC Comics, I don't know. But if anybody in that area is watching this, which I doubt it, this is just me ranting like an idiot on my channel. But also, like, it's just serious, because, like, how dare you fuck with me for 5 seasons, you know? I mean, let's just talk about how y'all ignored the chemistry between Kara and Lena, Melissa and Katie. Like, how do you, as a showrunner or whoever, sit there and blatantly ignore the magical chemistry in front of you? Now, in saying that, I saw a bit of an interview with one of the writers, Jay Faber. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I apologize if I get it wrong, which I probably did. But there was an interview that he did on some podcast, and some guy asked me about the Supergirl queerbaiting. And the guy, Jay really just, like, beat around the bush. Like, he didn't even, like, directly acknowledge Supercorp. He's like, the romantic pairings, whatever. But he said that they have to get, like, approval from, like, the higher ups, because, like, obviously Supergirl is licensed, the IP, is licensed to DC Comics, so they have to sign off on it. CW have to sign off on it. Warner Brothers got to sign off on it. So all these people up the top need to sign off on it before they can even make it a thing. Which is, okay, I can understand that. Like, you know, it's, you know, whatever. But if y'all knew, so if they knew about, obviously if everyone knows about Supercorp, we're not hiding. Like, everyone knows about it. Like, it's a staple, a non-canon ship. It's the biggest ship on fucking Supergirl at this point. But, like, if I get angry, I apologize, but, like, the rant video's been coming for, it's been brewing in me for, like, months, you know, years. But if they, obviously everyone knew about Supercorp, like, you know, everyone was hearing the fans, whatever. But if you knew about this and you brought it up to the head people, DC, whatever, and they said no, okay, tell us that. Tell us straight out, we're not going to make Supercorp canon, and we'll be like, okay, go off, God bless. Like, we know the truth, it's not going to happen, that's fine. However, continuing to queerbait, knowing Supercorp's never going to happen, is obviously queerbait. Using romantic undertones, using the same lines, paralleling, you know, from romantic canon ships. I think it was like Olicity at some point, West Allen. There was Batwoman, I think it was Kate and one of the other girls that she was seeing, that they played some song. Anyways, but there are parallels with other canon couples in the Arrowverse. And I'm just like, interesting. Like, why would you continue to do that, knowing Supercorp's not going to become canon? Like, then just make them platonic. Don't put any romantic undertones. Don't put some romantic song. Don't have Kara pining over Lena's photograph, crying with rainbow socks on. Okay, I'll never get over that. Like, don't do that. You know, don't do that. Just make it platonic. Don't do the romantic things. But they did. Some was romantic. Some was, you know, some of the scenes, depends who wrote the episode, who directed. But, like, don't bait us. And you know why they baited us? You want to know why? This is what I think, personally. But they baited us because they knew the queer fans made the majority of the fans watching the show. The only ones watching the show. Everyone else had dropped off, let's be real. After Crisis of Infinite Earths, I feel like after that, it really screwed up season 5B, in my opinion. Like, they just really lost their storyline, and they didn't know what the fuck to do. So I feel like at that point, like, a lot of people had dropped off the show, because it was like, what the fuck's happening? Plus, it was like the tension between Kara and Lena. Like, it was like, okay, like, I think people were like done, you know, which rightfully so. But there were some clowns like me who continued to watch just in case, because I actually, in my, you know, I loved all the characters. I loved Nia, I loved Alex and Kelly, I loved Danson. Like, I loved Kara on her own. Like, I was up Katie's ass, legit. Like, I had to support my girl, my wife. So, like, you know, but they queerbaited in what I think is because majority of their fans from season 5 onwards were queer fans and Supercorp fans, and I want to hint at it every now and then to, like, keep us watching until the very end. Which is what queerbaiting is. And I've said this before, the people who are like, well, it's not going to happen, why are you guys complaining so much, like, whatever. I'm like, the issue is not that we want Supercorp to be canon. I mean, of course we would love it, but, like, that's not what the issue is. That's what some people think the issue is. The issue, and I've said this before, the issue is that the writers, or the writing, the direction, whatever, have continued to queerbait the queer audiences into thinking there may be a little bit of hope between Kara and Lena becoming a thing. And that's, if you're not going to do it, then that's not okay. If you do it by accident, and the fans call you out, and then you recognize that, and you're like, oh shit, sorry, it wasn't intended to be like that, it's not going to happen. Okay, fair enough. But don't go and continue to write scenes, you know, paralleling Supercorp with every other fucking ship on the show. Seriously. Like, it's not on. That's what the issue is for me, and for a lot of people, you know, for everybody. That's what the issue is that the writers just disrespected their audiences, because they knew we were the only fans watching the show at that point. True? I could be wrong. Some probably watched it for other characters, which is fine, but majority, let's be honest, majority were Supercorp fans, okay? And, like, even if it has to get signed off, you know, with the higher ups, whatever. How do you see Supercorp gets trending every week when the show was on? Like, we were trending Supercorp Endgame, Supercorp Canon, or whatever we were doing every week. There was some trend going on every week, and the media were, like, reporting on it. There were articles about it. Like, it wasn't like the fan thing. The media was picking up on it. Like, even through season 5 as well. Like, the media was picking up on all these things. And, you know, I think at some point it became a Twitter moment. On Twitter, they made, like, a Supercorp thing. Like, it was full on. So, like, as, you know, a head of the CW or a showrunner or a head of DC, seeing that, wouldn't you want to, you know, capitalize on that and make something groundbreaking and revolutionary? Like, Lex and Clark have been, you know, arch enemies for, like, you know, fucking decades and decades. But for Supergirl and Lena, like, his, you know, Lex's sister, to fall in love and be, like, you know, a power couple. Imagine the power that would have had. Like, it makes me angry that they wouldn't do it, because, like, even if someone up there is homophobic, I don't know. But, like, the power they would have had as if they were canonically, as if they were canon. Romantically canon, living their best gay life, whatever the case may be. Like, imagine I keep saying, dude, you had a gold mine in your hands, and you'll throw it away. You'll throw it away for Lex and Nyxly. I'm done. We'll get to that. But, like, it makes me angry, because I'm like, there's so much potential, and, like, you're just wasted it for what? It's embarrassing, actually, as an audience member. Like, if I was a network executive, if I was a CW network executive, I would feel embarrassed. I would literally feel embarrassed that I let that get away from me, because it was trending every week. There was gifs everywhere after some interaction. There was gifs. They would talk about it. And if they became canon, it would have broken the internet, let me tell you. It would have literally broken the internet. I'm not even kidding. Like, imagine ignoring that. And again, Lena was only supposed to be a guest star for a few episodes, and her character became so popular, they made her a main character, as she should. But the same thing happened to Felicity in Arrow. She was supposed to be there for a few episodes. The showrunners or whoever noticed her chemistry with Steven, And then they became, one of the best ships on Arrow, in my opinion. Like, I love Felicity. Like, they became, like, such a staple ship in the Arrowverse. And I'm like, if they can do it, why couldn't Supergirl and Lena? Because they weren't a heterosexual couple. Felicity and Oliver were a heterosexual couple, and obviously that's more acceptable. And, we love it. Like, so if they had chemistry, why not do it for Kara and Lena? Oh, wait, they're two women. And let me tell you, if Lena Luthor was a man, they would have been together in season 3, granted. They would have hooked up at the end of season 2, they would have been together in season 3, got married in season 4, had kids in season 5, the list goes on. They would have had a whole family at this point. Like, I'm telling you, and you know it's true. You know Lena, if Lena's character was a man, they would have had her, Kara and Lena together earlier. It's pretty much because she was a woman, is why it wasn't canon, which is disappointing actually. Because I thought we had gotten past this, but knowing CW, am I surprised? It could not have been a CW. It could have been the higher executives. I don't know who made the decision or who said no. I don't know what happened, or I don't know. I'm speculating at this point. Don't sue me. It's just very devastating that this was the case. And, like, I feel like on Supergirl, Lena was the only viable love interest they went through. They even had, when Manel left, we had even, like, a bit of tease about William being her love interest, which was, like, in what world did the writers' room think that William and Kara would be a thing? In what universe would they have chemistry? There was literally no chemistry. No hate to Stars. I told you, there's no hate to the cast. They're just doing their jobs. But whoever made the decision, or, like, brought up the idea to have Kara and William be together, or, like, go on a date, whatever. Like, girl, really? They had literally zero chemistry. I'll be honest. They had zero chemistry. We all knew it. And I think because of the fan backlash, they were, they cut that out and, like, no thank you. Like, William went, after Kara to the fans, what happened? William dated some other massage girl, I don't know whoever her name is, Queen. But, like, it's the possibility that they would even think, like, you could try, but, like, would you do, like, a chemistry test between the characters? There's no chemistry there. But the writers literally made Lena the only viable love interest to the point where, like, she was the only one that, she was the only one that could be her love interest, They dug themselves into a hole. She was the only one on the show that could be her love interest. And in my eyes, they are still canon. But, like, she was there for the pep talks, Lena was there for the pep talks. When they had dinner together, they went, like, they did all the things that couples do. Yeah, best friends do it too. But let's be honest, the romantic undertones, please, are you kidding me? And what's funny is that in the last season, let's bring up Lex and Nyxly, because I want to keep it blatantly honest. What was the point of their relationship? What was the point? I think even John Cryer, don't quote me, I think even John Cryer was a bit confused when he read the script, like, why is Lex having a love interest? Even John was confused, if I'm remembering correctly. I think I read an article, I could be wrong, don't quote me, but I think he also felt very confused when he read the script about Lex and Nyxly. Like, it was the biggest waste of time, in my opinion. It was the biggest waste of time that I've ever seen in my life. They didn't even end up together. They both died. She broke up with him anyway. She realized he was manipulating her. Like, all the things that... I'll put some screenshots up. There were some lines that were very similar to Kara and Lena that they shared. I'll put some screenshots up. But, things that Lex did, Kara and Lena did for each other. Lex brought Nyxly food at some point. Her favourite food or something. So did Kara. Kara flew to Paris or wherever to grab all of Lena's favourite foods. Lex healed Nyxly when she was injured. Lena healed Kara. Like, the list goes on. Like, the parallels. And Lex says he loves this woman within 2 episodes. It's been... Like, first of all, Lex and Nyxly had no chemistry together whatsoever. This is the thing that I hate about straight couples or straight ships, heterosexual ships. These writers just put 2 characters together just because they're a man and woman. They just put these characters together just because. It doesn't matter if they have no chemistry. They just put them together for a romance. If you see that there is no chemistry, What's the point? The same goes with John and Zari in Legends. There was no chemistry between the two actors. They sold the shit out of it, but like, it was meh. It brought the season down. It made the season weaker in my opinion, because I didn't like John. But same thing, I didn't like Lex, I didn't like... Nyxly was alright, but obviously I didn't like Lex. But like, I'm just like, what? I would have loved to be a fly in the writer's room when they made the executive decision to put Lex and Nyxly as a romantic couple. What the fuck? What the fuck? I'm genuinely concerned for some of the sanity of some of the writers. I genuinely am concerned. Because what... Like, I'm always trying to be... I try not to be biased, understand everyone's side. But when I initially read that online, when I saw Alexa's getting a love interest, and I'm just like, really? Like, I was like, what? I was so confused. I'm like, that makes no sense. Like, my initial response was, what the fuck happened? What is happening? And for them to parallel Supercorp is even worse, because they had so many parallels, and I'm just like, are you people... Do the writers see... I think some writers see what they're doing with Supercorp. They wanted it to be canon, so they were hinting at it, but then obviously some didn't, or I don't know. But like, overall, on the grand scheme of things, do you not see what the fuck you're writing? Do you not see the story you have unintentionally written? These writers are idiots. They have unintentionally written the greatest love story between Kara and Lena. The biggest slow burn on this freaking show. Like, are they aware? They clearly... They have to be aware, right? Clearly not. They are... How do you unintentionally write the greatest love story to ever exist? Like, I genuinely have questions for you. Like, I really just want to get these people on my channel and be like, I need to legitimately ask you questions. Because, like, I know some writers probably did ship Supercorp, some didn't, which is fine, whatever. But as writers' rooms, you need to be consistent with your writing, which obviously was very evident in the writers' room, let's be honest. But, especially season 6, the whole, as soon as Kara came back, Kara and Lena were hanging out, Lena was over at her house, like, Kara didn't have Lena for game night as a partner, like, there was a thing when Callie and Alex, we were at game night, Callie and Alex were a team, John and Nia Nia and Brainy were a team, I can't remember. And then Kara was the one, being like the middleman, like she was, she wasn't actually playing, but like, she didn't have a perfect game partner, because that was Lena, let's be honest. But then they made so many parallels to all the couples. There were all these scenes where you would have a scene between Callie and Alex, a scene between Brainy and Nia, and then you had a scene between Kara and Lena. Like when the elevator doors opened up and Kara has champagne for Lena, waiting for her. Like, what was that? Like, I genuinely feel robbed. Like, it's upsetting. It's literally upsetting. And then don't even get me started on the final Supercorp scene in the final episode. Do not even... We touched on it a little bit in my finale reaction video. But let's be honest. If that was not the moment that was supposed to kiss, I swear to God. That was the moment. That was the moment when they were supposed to kiss. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. That was the moment that was like, that should have been canon. That was the moment. And the line that Kara says, she's like, I've been thinking when her and Lena were talking at the table, and she's talking about everything. She's like, every relationship, every friendship. Like, they really just threw in the friendship line. For what? For what? For nothing. For nothing. The speech would have been perfectly fine if you just said every relationship, because that also does mean friendships, Doesn't have to mean romantic. It also means platonic relationships. They didn't have to say friendship. Even Kara's like, a friendship to Lena. Like, she reached out to me, like, every friendship. Like, there was no need for that friendship line. You could have just kept it at relationships, and that would have been like, cool. But you just had to throw it in, Miss Quella. I don't know if Jessica Quella actually had anything to do with it, but like, you just had to throw it in just to, point it out that they're just friends, but then you're... And then she says this, Kara says, I don't know what it'll feel like for me connecting with somebody as my whole self. Or what is it? Connecting with someone as my whole self. And like, you don't know how that's like. You have literally been doing that with Lena. You have connected with Lena as your whole self. Yeah, you were lying at the beginning, but then you made amends and, you know, it was all good. Like, you did that with Lena. And then Kara, like, breaks down, and then Lena goes over. You've all seen the scene. She goes over to, hey, like, you know, she takes her glasses off. Like, that was the moment they were gonna kiss. And then she says, of all the friends that I've had, you're the one that challenged me the most. And Lena says, you made me a better person. Like, what the fuck? That, in my eyes, was canon to me. Like, I feel like, oh, I could be wrong, but I feel like Melissa and Katie really did ship Supercorp, and they would have actually wanted it to happen. I don't know whether if that's true or not. That's just what I think. I could be wrong. Don't hold me to that. But I just feel like they really gave their performances trying to say Supercorp is canon without actually having it being canon. Like, I feel like I don't even know how to describe it. I don't know how to describe how I felt, man. It was just like, that was it. They both looked radiant, by the way. Gorgeous, goddess level. Like, it's just, it makes me angry. But they saved that for the second last scene of the entire show. Then the thing was like game night at the end. But they saved that to the very last second. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? It's a joke. Like, if they're not going to be canon, don't have this big bloody fucking scene between them, like they're fucking confessing their feelings to each other. It's because maybe the writers did want them to be canon, but the higher ups said no, and they had to try and make it as canon as possible without actually making it canon. Something moved, I'm stressed. But like, there was also Brainy and Nia. Brainy's phone, his wallpaper on his phone, his screensaver was Nia. I think Kara had, or Lena had, Kara had her in a photo of her and Lena at some point as her screensaver, her lock screen. Like, there were so many things. And then don't even get me started on the color coordination, the red and the blue. Like, Lena was there for every pep talk. Like, she hyped her up. Like, Kara said she was family. Like, they had that. Like, you all know. I don't have to repeat it. You all know. But there was just so many. I could literally make a list of in every episode that they shared a scene. What was paralleling to what? I could make a whole list, but what's the point? We know it. You know it. I know it. Everybody, let's be honest, knows it. People who had never shipped Supercorp could see that there was some romantic undertones. Like, they could see that season 6 really went at that next level. They made the 100th episode all about Kara and Lena's relationship. I don't think 100 episodes shouldn't really do that unless they're a canon couple. I told you, Clark and Lana in Smallville, the 100th episode was revolved around their relationship. Like, and I think it was about the identity thing too, finding out Clark's identity. But like, Kara really went to all these different timelines to try and fix her relationship. Like, she really just went through space and time to find, to fix it. Like, you would do that for your best friend? Like, yeah, to an extent, but like, even Alex was like, you're gonna do all this for Lena? Like, and then when Alex saw things, the hug between Kara and Lena, when Kara leaned in, she fucking lied to me. She leaned the fuck in, she did. Like, and Alex, and they broke apart, and Alex is like, looking like, what the hell's going on? Like, season 6 really ramped up the Supercorp. They really ramped it up to set me up for disappointment. I don't like that. And to top it off, you know how we said earlier that, what's his name, Jay, the writer guy, said that they need to get signed off for things from the executives like DC Comics or whatever. Okay, cool. Then how come DC Comics released a fucking comic book with Wonder Woman and Supergirl kissing in an alternate universe that were together? And let me tell you, if Supergirl is queer in that universe, honey, let me tell you, she probably is queer in this universe. Because I feel like every variant of a person in any universe would have the same similar traits, So if someone, because obviously being queer is part of Supergirl in that universe, therefore it should be a part of every Supergirl, because it's who she is, So I didn't tell them, it's like, listen, DC Comics releasing that is very interesting to me. I don't think, obviously, as I said, it was an alternate universe of Wonder Woman and Supergirl, but still. It's still part of the multiverse, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's interesting that they chose that. I don't know, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying there was nothing straight about either of those two women on that show. Take it or leave it. I just am so... Talking about it has gotten me more fired up about it, because, like, I just don't know how you'll sit there and ignore it. I don't know how you just sit there and didn't make it canon. I don't understand. You would have had, like, people are like, oh, it's fan service, whatever. No, it's not fan service. You're fucking doing it in front of us. They're bloody queerbaiting us in front of our faces. And maybe, if, you know, you didn't see because you're not queer, you don't see the same way that we see it. Like, I don't know, but but some did. Some like, hold on, this is a bit, you know, we're crossing the line of friendship, platonic and romantic. We're crossing the line a little bit. Like, people admitted it. Like, you can't deny it. Like, say what you want, but y'all can say you don't ship Supercorp, that's fine. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, that's cool. We all respect each other's opinions. But you can't sit there and tell me that Supercorp didn't have chemistry. You can't deny it. Like, if Lena was a man, they would have been together 100%. Like, and it sucks, because it would have made the show so much better. And, like, I literally hate everybody. I hate everybody. Like, they make me angry. It makes me angry. I watched Supergirl for the lols. I'm like, this looks fun. Started off, okay, season 1, go off. Little bit cringe, but also I love the message it sends to the young women. Like, it's nice. It's a nice, hopeful show. Season 2, Alex's coming out story. Go off. I'm obsessed. I love it. Introduction of Lena Luthor. I'm whipped. Let's go. Season 3, Rain. Okay, Queen Rain. Love her. Low-key, I loved her, and Lena should have been together maybe. Or even Rain and Alex. Alex and Lena. There were a lot of, before Callie. I had ships before Callie. Then Callie came along. I'm like, that is the love of Alex's life. Dancing only. But like before Callie, I could ship around a little bit. And then season 4 we had Nia. I was like, alright, go off, And that, the plane scene. And even, okay, hold on. Even Red Daughter having a little bit of an obsession with Lena. Putting photos of her up in the cell, in the whatever the fuck it was in Kaznia. Like, going to her, Like, come on. What was that? I told you, maybe that was the gay side of Kara. Maybe when she split, the gay side came out. No kidding, but also. But like, I'm telling you, in my soul, I believe that Kara in every universe is a little bit queer. She's a little bit queer. A little bit. A lot. I don't know. But like, it's a part of her, I think. And it just sucks that the writers wouldn't. And yeah, people can argue, but Kara said in the pilot, I'm not gay, to win. Yes. She could be bisexual. She could be pan. You don't know her. I know her personally. No, I'm just kidding. kidding. I'm trying to do that meme on Twitter. Anyways. But like, it's just, I have every episode, I had my hopes up a little bit, because I stopped a little bit in season 5 because I'm like, nah, man, like, it's obviously not gonna happen. But season 6, they really, like, gave little hints, and I will admit, I got hopeful. Even though deep down, I knew it would never be canon, because I'm like, they wouldn't do it. But they kept doing little hints, and I'm like, oh, but what if? Because, like, what if they're saving for the finale? Like, what if? And, like, but... And don't get me wrong, I love the finale. I thought the finale with Kara's journey was great. I loved how it ended. I love that. I also love that you don't need to be in a relationship to be your whole self. I love that too. But when you got Lena there, they would have been the best power couple, and it would have been amazing. Like, everyone can be a badass and have love. You can have it all. Obviously not at the same time, like Kat says. But like, well, yeah, man. Everyone knew that was supposed to be together. Everybody knew, man. Everybody knew. So the way Lena would defend Kara would defend Lena. Like, come on. And yeah, Lena did shady shit. Yes, I know. But we forgave her for that. She did some very bad things. But even the whole writers playing with, is Lena good, is she evil? Like, girl, I got over it really quickly. Like, we know she's good. That was a bit of a But my point is, Supercorp obviously should have been canon. It is currently the biggest queerbait in television history. Some might argue that Swan Queen on Once Upon a Time was also a big queerbait. I will admit, when I rewatched the show with that in mind, I could see some scenes where I actually kind of would low-key ship Regina and Emma, I'm not gonna lie. I was like, there were definitely some scenes in the show I was like, okay, this is a little gay, like, okay, like, I can see it. But it wasn't as bad as Supergirl, in my opinion, as Supercorp, in my opinion. Supercorp really just went there. Like, they went there. And I was like, okay. Like, everything that, canon couples do, Kara and Lena did, except for kiss. They did everything that canon couples do. I mean, let me just, Barry and Iris. Iris, being on the comms and, talking to Barry, giving him pep talks. Exactly what Kara and Lena do. Lena's behind the scenes, on the comms with her, whatever. Like, Felicity and Oliver, same deal. Like, it's just, when you really look at it from that perspective, you'll see that they were a canon couple, except they just didn't kiss. But they were written as a canon couple towards the end of the show. Whether you like it or not, it's the facts. It's the truth. I said what I said. Okay? And I'm telling you again, if Lena Luthor was a man, they would have been together in season 3. Okay? They would have done let me tell you, they would have done a love triangle between Cara Mon-El and Lena if she was a man. They would have done a love triangle. Let me tell you right now, they would have done that. Guaranteed. Because it's easy for straight ships. But for some reason, it's harder for queer ships. And I'll give the writers this, though. They did really improve Danson and their relationship. They gave Callie some more screen time. Like, they really did that, and they really improved a lot from season 5, and I really appreciated it, because, I loved it. And I loved Danson, and I deserved so much more. But they really got what they deserved in season 6, which I thought was great. So they did that great. And also, let's talk about Arzy's episode, Blind Spots, episode 12, that she co-wrote, which was one of the best episodes of the entire show, one of my personal favourites, easily my top 5, 100%. And I'll tell you why. It's because Arzy cares about the characters. And when you have a writer who cares about the show, the characters, their stories, the storyline becomes much more richer. She knows what she's doing. As a fan of the show, she knows what the characters have been through. Like, she remembers past seasons. Like, she remembers that she cares. And then let me tell you, some of the writing on the show, I can guarantee you, the writers probably didn't care as much. It was just another job to them, whatever. Yeah, there was some care, obviously. But, like, when you hire new writers who haven't watched previous seasons, you miss some continuity, But Arzy's episode shone right through as a gem in season 6, because it was just written so beautifully. The direction was great. It was directed by David Ramsey King. Fantastic. Everyone acted their asses off. There were so many great scenes. The whole episode was fantastic. But when you have a writer, this is what I'm saying, when you have a writer that cares about the show, the episode is elevated. And it means more. I didn't really cry in Supergirl. Early on, maybe, but in the late seasons, I didn't really get emotional a lot. But episode 12, I was bawling with tears. That never happens to me on shows often, especially with Supergirl. You guys can probably attest. I didn't really cry a lot. Maybe when Win left, there was like a few things here and there. But like, for me to actually be bawling, but in like seasons 4 onwards, I wasn't really crying a lot. There wasn't really many emotional scenes. Or there were, but I wasn't crying about it. But Arzy's episode, she just put so much emotion and heart into the episode. You felt it from her. And some writers don't have that. And that's why I'm just like, honey, they need to hire fan consultants on these shows. Because sometimes I know it's hard, it's stressful. There are a lot of episodes, especially when it's a big show with many seasons. You can forget some things, I know. But the fans never forget. We know everything. But like, I know I just kind of sidetracked onto the whole, writing. But it kind of plays into Supercorp as well. Because I'm like, some of the scenes that they had, obviously there was like, no caring whatsoever. Than some scenes that were really caring. Like, it just depends who's writing the episodes, but it's just, it sucks because, you know, Katie's so talented, Melissa's so talented, they're all talented. And when you have, like, you know, so-so writing, you know, mediocre writing, it's up to the actors to make the episode more exciting, which they do sometimes. And you're lucky everyone is a simp for Katie, we're all simp for Melissa, all simp for Ozzy and Kyla and Nicole, Brainy and Jesse. We all simp for them. And you've got such a great cast. It's just a shame that the writing kind of slipped a little bit. And I can go on at this point, but like seriously, it's disappointing actually. But man, I'm so pissed. Lena Luthor deserved better. Supercorp deserved better, man. Oh, and even Lena being a witch. Now we're just getting into issues that I didn't like. Lena being a witch, I was like, okay, that's a bit random. But like, I got on board. I was like, okay, cool. But like, and you know what's funny? Like, they could have done so much more with season 6's story with Supercorp if they want to make a canon. Like, the love totem being on Esme was like a good little plot twist. But like, I really was hoping like the love totem was like with Supercorp as well. Like, I was really hoping. There were so many ways I could have done this whole totem storyline to make it so much richer with Supercorp as well. Because I feel like with every totem, like, it related to some character. And like, I feel like with the love totem, it could have been a really big moment for Supercorp. But like, I don't know, man. I just feel like we needed a character to just be like, if Cat Grant, let me tell you, if Miss Cat Grant was still on the show throughout the whole series, she would have called it out in season 4. She would have been like, Kira, are you and the Luthor girl dating? What's going on? Because there is so much chemistry between you guys. Either get together or don't get out of my face. Like, she would just be calling it out so much. The lip bites that they were sharing, her and Lena. The looks, the stares, like, I told you, the color coordinated outfits, red and blue. What else do you say? Similar lines, the parallels. There were so many parallels. I told you, I'm repeating myself now, but there were so many parallels. It's a shame. It's an actual shame. It's embarrassing. It's pathetic and it's embarrassing that y'all didn't make a canon. Like, I get that whoever didn't sign it off, but then again, DC just made Supergirl and Wonder Woman like a thing. So like, it's possible. Don't tell me it's not possible. The fans wanted it. Everyone wanted it. Y'all just too chicken to do it. Or CW, whoever the hell it is. And they're probably like, you know what their logic was? You already have a gay couple. You don't need another one. Like, bitch. Have you seen Legends of Tomorrow? They have like fucking 5 people queer on there. Well, on the Earth, there were 7 new queer people on there. Like, Batwoman, everyone's lesbian on there. Or bisexual, whatever. Everyone's queer on Batwoman. Like, don't tell me you can't do it because you can. I can't, man. I hate all of it. I hate everybody. Anyways! I mean, I didn't even know what else to say at this point except for we deserved better. I'm so sorry the fans were robbed. I'm sorry that we were all robbed. The writers and the writers' room and the higher-ups wouldn't allow it to happen. It's a shame. Wasted opportunity. You lost a gold mine, in my opinion. And before I go, I want to read out this excerpt that I stole from, I didn't steal, sorry, the bad word. That I screenshotted from Tumblr. It was, I don't know who sent it, but it was circulating online. It was a nice little post that I saw. And let me just read it out to you. I don't know who it came from. There was no name on it. Someone just took screenshots and was sharing it. So I don't know who actually wrote it. So I apologize if I'm not crediting anybody. But it says, literally, Lena gives her... This is about the finale episode, their last scene together. It says, literally, Lena gives Kara this great speech about being who you really are, including talk of her parents programming the magic out of her, which was what, Lillian did, the magic, which prevented Lena from being who she really was, which is a blatant metaphor for conversion therapy. And she says she thinks that's the same for Kara. And then Kara talks about what it would be like to connect with somebody on every level as the real her. Then Lena said it'd be empowering, and then suddenly Kara breaks down, removes her glasses, aka her mask, her pretending, her persona, and tells her what she means to her. And then they're like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, when you think about it like that, it's just like, holy crap. And then so at the lesbian wedding, you have Melissa making the acting choice to look to the side Lena was on while singing We Belong Together, which I didn't pick up on at the beginning, but she does. And I'm like, hello. And then when James says that he knows what he wants out of life now, at the exact moment, Kara turns around as Lena approaches to tell her, come on, come back to the party. Then you have Lena talking about her parent preventing her from being her true self, but now she's free and is being who she really is, and Kara wanting to come out and finally doing so, thanks mostly to Lena, by her own tearful admission, during which she takes off her glasses to tell Lena what she means to her. Everything that happened between Supercorp at the wedding was one big subtextual metaphor for being LGBTQ, being stifled, stifled, then finally coming out, in large part because of their love for each other. I agree. In the year 2021, leaving all of that to subtext instead of main text, having them dance around each other under metaphors is entirely unacceptable. Now, I completely agree. I feel like that entire final episode was a big, fuck you. As I said, I don't know if they could do Supercorp, I don't know what the real reason was. But when you hear it like that, instead of being a subtext, it should have been a main text 100%. But it was all underlying. It was all there. You just needed a kiss, and that was the perfect moment for them to kiss and make it canon, and for Kara to finally be her true self. It was the perfect moment. And it's just, ugh! You see, Kara, and I wish, actually, that Kara, having an identity crisis and, not fitting in or not thinking, everyone's moving on with their life and I'm stuck, whatever. That should have been a thing for the entire of 6B. I know Melissa was on maternity leave at the beginning, which is fine. But when she came back, they didn't really address this until, the later half of 6B, the last, 3 episodes. They should have addressed this from the beginning, Because I would have loved to see Kara's, journey into self-acceptance and, being who she is. I would have loved that instead of the Lex. We could have cut out the Lex and Nyxly shit and had more focus on Kara, in my opinion. I think. So, that post, I agree. It was one big subtext, but it should have been a main text, 100%. And it was a really big queerbaiting. And yeah, Melissa and Katie probably did the acting choices to try and make it as canon as possible without making it canon. The writers maybe even, I don't know. But to save that big scene between them for the second last scene of the entire series speaks volumes. Because, that's usually saved for, the main relationship, relationship of the show. Between Supergirl and whoever. And in this case, it was Lena. So I'm just look. We got fucked over badly. I did have a great time, though, watching Supergirl, obviously. I wouldn't take it back for anything, but obviously, without the queerbaiting, you're lucky I loved all the actors. I want to support them, and, they made me tune in every week. But we really just got fucked over in the end. Really did. Really got queerbaited right till the end. And majority of us knew we would. We expected it. So it wasn't I wasn't shocked when it didn't happen. We all kind of knew anyways. But we had that hope. And having the writers hold out that hope for us is wrong. Because it gets our hopes up and it baits us into continuing to watch. They baited us into watching till the end. That's literally queerbaiting. What can I say? What can I say? You misled your audience because you knew we were the only ones watching you. Anyways, guys, that was my rant video. I hope it lived up to the hype. What else do you say? You can watch my other 3 that I've done. I'll probably link them down below. If I forget, my apologies, but I'll try and link them down. But yeah, I have 3 other ones out on my channel, which, look, I've said what I had to say in all 3 of them. I said it again today. We got fucked over and that's it. And it should have been canon and that's it. So, guys, from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you guys for watching this video, for supporting my Supergirl and Supercorp reactions over the last how many years. It's been a true honor. Hopefully we can be baited again next year. I was baited by Hosey, actually, on Legacies. But maybe I'll do a whole video about queerbaiting on different shows. We've got Legacies, 911. There are a few. But maybe we'll see. If you want to see more, let me know in the comments below. But guys, from the bottom of my heart, have a lovely, lovely New Year's. 2022 is going to bring us magical gifts. I don't know. 2022 is a good year, I think. I don't know. I said that about this year, but then look what happened. But yeah, thank you guys for supporting me. I feel like this is like the perfect video to end out 2021, because like, why not? I'll be back in 2022 with more videos and more reactions. I'm taking a little bit of a break because I need it. But guys, thank you so much for all the support and love you've shown me this year. It's been an honor, true blessing for you to have you guys here. So, guys, for the final time this year, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys for the next video. Have a great New Year's, guys. Ciao for now. Bye, guys.